Hi everyone and welcome to another obscure Asian story. Working conditions in South Korea can be harsh, especially for young people and migrant workers. Long hours, low pay, poor safety, and workplace bullying are common. Add to that a significant gender pay gap and little job security, and it's no surprise many young people feel disillusioned. Some even describe it as a culture of tolerance for abuse from those in power. So it's not shocking that many young Koreans are stepping away, not just from jobs, but from school and training too. In 2024, nearly 500,000 young people aged 15 to 34 in South Korea weren't looking for work at all. That's up almost 200,000 from 5 years earlier. Most of them had already completed job training or received employment support, yet stopped looking for work after just a year or two. On average, they had been out of the labor force for nearly 2 years. Youth unemployment reached 7.5% in March 2025, the highest since 2021. And this isn't just about population decline. Fewer people in their late 20s are working or even trying to work, and more are dropping out altogether. One of the most worrying trends is the rise in economically inactive youth. They are young people who aren't working, aren't job hunting, but could work if they wanted to. That number rose to over 500,000 in 2024, mostly in their 20s. About 60% say they plan to return to work within a year, but the rest seem unmotivated. When asked why they stepped away, common answers included no suitable jobs, focus on self-improvement, burnout, and mental health issues. Most said they felt current lives were unstable. Meanwhile, fewer young people are even trying. The percentage who seriously looked for a job before giving up dropped from over 40% in 2015 to just 29% in 2024. And when offered work, fewer are saying yes. In 2015, almost every young person said they'd take a job if offered. By 2024, around 1 in 4 said they wouldn't. In short, job fatigue, stress, and a lack of faith in the system are pushing more and more young Koreans out of the workforce altogether. Today's job market reflects a growing generational divide. For younger people, career decisions are shaped more by long-term goals than short-term income. But there is a challenge. Many young workers have mid-level skills, good enough to avoid failure, but not strong enough to stand out. This limits upward mobility and makes competition even tougher. At the same time, South Korea faces falling marriage and birth rates, partly linked to poor youth employment prospects. In 2023, just 63% of unmarried young couples said they planned to marry, down from 75% the year before. Fewer also said they wanted children. Experts say job insecurity and the rise of short-term or unstable work are major reasons behind this trend. In response, the government has stepped up its efforts. It's offering job matching services to help the 60% of inactive youth who want to return to work. For the remaining 40%, it launched a Youth Employment All Care platform, which offers training, internships, and personalized job support. The government increased its youth employment budget this year to 2.29 trillion won, up from 1.97 trillion in 2023. This covers a range of programs including digital training, company incentives for hiring young workers, internships, and mental health counseling for discouraged job seekers. Still, results have been limited. The number of inactive youth keeps rising. Experts warn that current policies don't fully reflect how diverse this group is. Some young people may be struggling mentally, while others, especially those living alone, might not feel financial pressure to find work right away. Agreements with major business groups aim to create jobs for 50,000 new graduates in 2025, especially those who have been unemployed for a long time. But if youth joblessness continues, it could have serious long-term consequences not just for the economy, but for entire generations' future. Behind all this are deeper structural issues. Industries like manufacturing and construction, once reliable sources of entry-level jobs, are shrinking. At the same time, companies now prefer hiring experienced workers or using flexible temporary staffing, leaving fewer chances for young people trying to get their start. The growing number of young adults who are neither working nor studying could seriously harm the country's future workforce. As South Korea's population ages and the demand for labor increases, the shrinking number of active young workers could slow economic growth. Since 2013, youth unemployment has been rising, even though the national unemployment rate has stayed relatively stable. High school graduates have managed to find jobs in the service sector, but university graduates are struggling. The number of skilled jobs simply hasn't kept up with the surge in college-educated job seekers. As South Korea's population ages and the demand for labor increases, the shrinking number of active young workers could slow economic growth. In the past, getting a degree meant better job prospects, but now many graduates face long and uncertain job searches. The pandemic made this worse. Entry-level jobs are often seen as unappealing, especially by those with higher qualifications. As a result, many hold out for jobs that better match their skills and long-term goals. But the problem runs deeper. South Korea expanded higher education without creating enough high-skilled jobs to absorb all these graduates. Many young people feel overqualified, underemployed, and stuck. Government programs like the Employment Success Package offer some help, but they haven't been big or targeted enough to make a real difference. Adding to this is the role of family support. Nearly two-thirds of South Koreans aged 25 to 34 still rely on their parents financially. This cushion allows them to be more selective with job choices, but long-term, it can delay independence, put pressure on families, and strain the economy. Another challenge looms. These same young people will soon be expected to care for aging parents, all while navigating a tough job market. Once booming sectors like tech have lost steam, and the real estate sector, key to economic growth, is stuck in a debt crisis that's holding back hiring. Yet every year, more college grads enter the workforce, competing for fewer quality jobs. Typically, your 20s are a time of ambition and building momentum, but in South Korea, more young adults in their late 20s and early 30s are stepping away. They're not working, not studying, they're just taking a break. What's striking is that many of them have job experience. They've chosen to pause, not because of one specific problem, but because they're worn out. For them, resting is a way to escape constant pressure and uncertainty, even if it's just for a while. Fixing South Korea's youth employment crisis isn't as simple as telling young people to get a job. Policymakers need to rethink the job market itself, offering roles that align with today's values, qualifications, and career expectations. It's also important to promote independence and reduce reliance on family support. At the heart of the issue is a mismatch between what young people are trained to do and what the job market actually needs. The private sector has been slow to grow, and the public sector can't absorb the flood of highly educated job seekers. Many graduates end up stuck, either hunting for jobs for years or dropping out of the workforce entirely, despite having degrees or training. South Korea's labor market is also split in two. Large companies offer stable, well-paying jobs, but they're hard to get. Most young people end up in small and mid-sized firms with lower pay, little job security, and limited growth prospects. That leaves many feeling excluded from the real economy. Solving this will require bold changes, faster innovation, stronger support for startups, and better education that prepares students for modern jobs. If not, the gap between education and employment will only widen. And the impact goes beyond economics. With high job insecurity, unaffordable housing, and fewer opportunities, many young Koreans are giving up on traditional goals like marriage, kids, or owning a home. Some are also turning away from mainstream politics, drawn instead to more extreme ideologies online, where frustration and anger get amplified. This disillusionment is showing up in the numbers. Among younger graduates, the share not seeking work rose from 19% in 2015 to nearly 25% in 2024. Among older graduates, the figure went from 54% to almost 59%. The problem isn't just unemployment, it's a lack of jobs that actually match their skills. Rising political extremism among young people also threatens to divide society and shake confidence in democracy. It could even influence South Korea's foreign policy, its relationship with the US, stance on North Korea, and regional diplomacy. The bottom line, tackling youth unemployment isn't just about economics. It's a social and political priority. Without coordinated reforms in the job market, education system, and career pathways, South Korea risks losing more than its young workforce. It could lose the trust and future leadership of an entire generation. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time, and thanks for watching!